Good. Thanks. Nice to see you.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Welcome. Welcome.
Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Amen.
So we are having showers of Om Shanti right now. So Om Shanti to all of you.
Om Shanti.
And welcome. Welcome to this program. All of you have been attending these Thursday classes very loyally, I think, from January, from beginning of January. We've been having different classes. We've covered different subjects. And to this month, the subject is very, very, I think, personal and very important for all of us. That's why I saw that there was a lot of responses and feedbacks. And also, a lot of people have showed their interest to attend this program. And some of you who also have told me that you're unable to attend due to certain reasons. Don't worry, this class is being recorded and we will put it in the our YouTube channel, Los Angeles Brahmakumaris. So if you're missing this opportunity right now at this moment, you can watch it in our YouTube. In this month's topic, relationships, and Sister Diane, we discussed together. We came up different subjects, different facets to this theme, relationships, which we will hear. And but first, let's do meditation. Let us prepare our mind so that we can be at the present and we can enjoy this program without much disturbances. So I'm going to mute all of you and then we'll share after the meditation. So let me sit back, relax myself. Let's clear the space in the mind at this moment. Today is a very special day as we explore something very deep, very informative, and very beautiful. So reflect back into your life and ask yourself, of all the relationships that you have played in your life, which one you feel is the most beautiful relationship that you have experienced? And ask yourself, why do you feel that relationship is the most beautiful one? How did you behaved or responded in that relationship with the other soul? Does that relationship make you feel very special? Despite knowing that there are certain weaknesses within me that I need to face, but I still feel I'm worthy to be loved through this relationship. Do you feel very unique through this relationship? Keeping this relationship as a guide, as the example. Today we will learn how to make every other relationships that I have in my life the same quality as this special one that I hold very dear to my heart. Today I'm going to learn the secrets of how to maintain a very beautiful relationship with others. What is it that I need to do so I can make a difference? I am in the present. I'm ready to learn. My mind is open. My heart is ready to do whatever it takes to bring the best in every relationships that I have. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Vinodam.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
So it's
Om Santi.
okay. So Om Shanti, Om Shanti, and Om Shanti to everyone. So I'm sure you are able to reflect at least one relationship that's very special and dear for you. Were you?
Yes.
And sometimes we may wish that all the other relationships that we have with other souls could be as beautiful, as sweet as this special one. Do you feel that way?
Yes, definitely.
Well, today we're gonna have Sister Diane with us, and she's gonna share with us those secrets. Just to give a brief intro about Diane Ben. She's the center coordinator at the Brahmakumari Seal Beach Center. We have a center in Orange County, in the city called Seal Beach. So she's the main coordinator of that center. She's a licensed educational psychologist, school psychologist, and also a family therapist by profession. She has she wrote many books And the famous ones are, it's called Living Values. It teaches about, basically it teaches how to live with values and virtues, how to exhibit it in actions, and how to bring it in our habits, focused on different aspects, different groups of community. This book she wrote for children, she wrote for young adults, for parents. So just targeting different age groups, and she wrote these books. It is very, very useful. And also, personally, knowing Sister Diane for for a number of years, what I feel through my interactions with her is that she's very understanding and she's very observing. She has good observational skills. She looks at you and she's able to feel you. And she has a lot of patience. She has a lot of patience to listen, to be able to guide everyone in a very heart-to-heart level, not being on a head, not being very intellectual, but on a very personal heart-to-heart level. She has that ability to connect with you here. So I'm going to invite Sister Diane. Welcome.
Thank you, Binubin. I appreciate your very sweet introduction.
Welcome, Diane Ben. I'm going to leave it to you.
Do you want to pin me or?
Yeah, you are spotlighted. I am going to here.
Okay, wonderful. And Vinu, that meditation commentary was very lovely. Very, very nice. I really enjoyed it. You can see my flip chart is blocking the sun in the room. Anyhow, welcome everybody. How wonderful that you've been engaged in Thursday nights and learning more about the practicalities of Raj Yoga and how to bring a lot more peace and spirituality into your lives and yourself and your relationships. So congratulations to you all. That's wonderful. And I would like to ask you, since Vinu led us in such a beautiful meditation, I'd like to ask you which qualities you were thinking of that you like in yourself or in others. So let's start with the qualities you want to have in your relationships with others. Do you want to just call out your answers, or Vina, would you prefer that they put it in chat and you call out their answers? What would you like?
So they can, it's up to you. Some of you who like to put it in the chat, I can say it out. If you would like to unmute and share, you're most welcome. So again, this is a very interactive session. It's not just going to be one-way street. It's going to be two-way. And Diane Ben love to use the chart. So there's something very, you have something to look at and visibility is there.
So tell me,
Patience.
you want in your relationship, just name the qualities.
Patience.
I would say caring, commitment, concern, affectionate, and loving.
All covered everything.
And you're assuming I have a memory.
There's a love and respect.
I like love and respect and peace.
Wonderful.
Humor.
It is nice to have a bit of humor, isn't it?
Understanding. Tolerance.
Joyful.
Maturity.
Happy and cheerful.
Trust.
What was that?
Trust.
Rushed?
Trust.
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 Trust. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that was great.
Caring.
Laughter.
Happy. Happy.
Laughter.
Caring also.
Power to tolerate.
Yeah, tolerate.
Positive attitude.
La laughter.
Openness.
Loyal. Okay, beautiful.
Power to tolerate.
Acceptance.
And speak the truth if he or she feels good or bad. Not hiding those feelings.
Loyalty.
Tolerance of everything. Tolerance.
Honesty.
That's what tolerance looks like.
The one who is peace.
Okay.
The one who gets
Look at all the beautiful qualities you've made. I think my video isn't showing it to you. I'll send it to Vinu and I'll take a picture of it and she can send it to you.
Honorable.
Wonderful.
harmony and ego.
Absolutely harmony. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to stop you there and I'm going to ask you to think of one quality that you would have in yourself that would help make that happen. What's one quality in yourself?
Loving. Being loving.
If you were loving.
Forgiving.
Okay, loving, forgiving.
Caring.
Accepting others. Accepting others.
Others as they are.
Tolerant. Tolerant and patient.
Tolerance is the most important.
Openness.
Okay, I am contented.
Beautiful.
Contentment.
Okay, wonderful.
Vulnerable.
Endurance.
What was that last one?
Vulnerable.
Endurance.
Minimalist.
Minimalist. Okay.
Was that benevolent?
Minimalist.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what a beautiful, beautiful list. Congratulations, everyone. That's really, really lovely. It's incredible, really. I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it to Vinu and she can send it to all of you, but it's a beautiful list. I see somehow my screen is turned around, so.
Meeting went very well. Sabne suna.
Let me see if I can get it to. Okay, great. I won't mirror it. If you can mute to. Okay, great. So beautiful. I think you can see it. Can you read it now or is it worse?
We miss your face. It's okay, I think. We can see.
It's okay. All right. Okay, so today what I would like to do is that I would like to share with you a model. And I would like to share that model because I would like to have you know about it so that during our following 4 sessions and this one, you can think about it. This is a model that I developed for Living Values Education, and I've adapted it for the Brahma Kumaris. And the model is very simple in ways, but it's very profound. And if you can think about it a lot, then you will be able to guide every single word that comes out of your mouth and every single action and compare it to this model. And it will really help you create the beauty that you've described and that you've thought about for relationships. One of the things that you've learned in Raj Yoga meditation is that the power of words is very great and the power of thoughts is very great. So when we have good wishes and pure feelings for others, when we're feeling that love and respect for other souls, that there is a wonderful ambience that develops. that the vibrations are higher and higher and things are safe and trust develops. So these beautiful things that we're meditating on and that you've been meditating on for a number of months now, you want to bring more into your relationships. And sometimes you don't know why things go differently than you would want them. So we'll deal with that in a more thorough way later on. But first I'm going to explain this little model. And this little model is here. So this little model is here. And I don't know if you can see it very well, so I'll put a screen on it. I'll put another thing up here, but this is a D. So D is for Dharna. In Living Values Education, we have a B for behavior. So whatever is the Dharna of the other person, be it positive or negative, or their behavior, be it positive or negative, when we create for them the experience that they are loved, valued, respected, understood, and safe, things get better. The relationships become trustworthy, become caring, become safe. And for children move towards their potential. And conversely, when we act in such a way that people feel unworthy or inadequate, afraid, hurt, shamed, or unsafe, then children, their potential is diminished. And relationships with children or with adults or with friends, with anybody, they're harmed. And sometimes people stop speaking or they stop trusting, but there's all kinds of things that happen. I'm going to share my screen. And so on the screen, let's see if I can get it to get bigger. There you can see it. So in the screen, Vinu, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. So in the screen, this Dharna model, when we treat people in such a way that they feel loved, respected, valued, and understood, they move towards their potential. When we treat them in such a way that they feel unworthy or inadequate, hurt, fearful, shamed, unsafe, relationships are harmed and children go downward. And these are little points where something happens and it's negative and the child can change. So either people can go into being more responsible, more caring, more committed to family, more committed to education, to art, to peace, to any good things. When they are treated this way, they go upward. But when they're treated as if they were unworthy or inadequate and they became hurt, then the hurt can go into shame, it can go into sadness, it can go into depression. For some children, the hurt can go into anger, it can go into violence, it can go into resentment, it can go into deliberately trying to make others hurt. So what we're looking at and what I'd like to discuss in our time together is what are the things that we can do to make things good. And then I want to ask you, what are the things that are in relationships, perhaps in your relationships now, or in other relationships that you see with others, what kinds of negative things happen that cause this downward spiral? Okay, so the idea is that we want to stay above the line. whether we're a person that's a Raj Yogi or a person that's Christian or a person that's Muslim or of any race or any religion or no religion, what would happen if everyone in the whole world stayed above this line? You know, would we be able to create peace, caring, respect, and cooperation as a society for every single one? I know that's my dream. So this is an interesting model, and it's one that that's very dear to my heart. I'm an educational psychologist. I'm going to see if I can get this video to mirror in the other direction. It's driving me nuts here.
Well, we
So,
see you perfectly.
okay, great. So I know that as a educational psychologist, I'm very committed to this model. And one of the reasons why I love it is because I know the impact of words and actions on children. I saw it for many, many years firsthand. And there's a theorist, his name was Paulo Freire. And sorry, I'm going to try to change that setting one more time. It's not working. Oh, well, I'm going to give it up. But what he said is that every sentence in a classroom is a moral decision. And I love that because it really is every sentence, every word out of our mouth is a moral decision. Sometimes they're automatic. And in Raj Yoga, that we would say it's because those sanskaras are so quick. Those personality traits are so quick that we just completely fire up and they're automatic. And so what you're doing is you're taking in the energy of peace, you're taking in the energy of love, and you're growing that peace and you're growing that love. And then you're able to slow down that automatic reaction and think about, what do I want to do instead? So it's a wonderful process to do that. But this model is about awareness. So if we look at this little model again, I'm just going to ask you to name a few things. What kinds of things do you feel create beauty in relationships in terms of practical reactions? You know, how do we help people feel loved or valued?
Respect them.
Okay, how do we respect them? What does that look like?
Encourage them. Praise them.
Okay, so part of respect might be to encourage.
Motivate.
Appreciate.
Listening to what the other person has to say.
That's
Not interrupting, but allowing them to say it, and then they feel heard.
So really listening to others really is a big part of respect because people really feel valued when you do that and respected. Okay, beautiful.
Compromising.
Compromising. Okay, so maybe
Accept them.
to listen to what they want and to really hear what's important to them.
Appreciate.
My spelling is going wrong there. Okay, appreciate.
Also to
consistent in your approach.
also
Consistent.
Okay, so to be consistent in your approach. Now let's refine that a little bit. Do I want to be consistent in that I always hit someone when they do something, or do I want to be consistent in that I do what I say? What do I want to be consistent in? Do I want to be consistent in having a healthy schedule for the family so that, you know, there is always breakfast in the morning? What do I want to be consistent in?
Consistent in tolerance.
Consistency in telling the truth.
Okay, good.
How about creating
Consistency in respecting
Accept them.
their values.
Okay, so accepting, and there was a gentleman that was trying to say something.
Create trust.
Understanding.
Well, also to empathize, put yourself in their shoes to understand their point of view.
Wonderful.
So, empathize.
Empathize, sympathize.
Sympathize is different than empathize.
Yes, but I'm saying it as a different point.
Yeah, empathize is more important.
Both are important.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful, lovely. Okay, and then last here, what are the things that you don't like in relationships, and what are the things that harm relationships?
Ego.
Okay, how does ego harm a relationship?
The other person thinks they are right.
They put you down. Kind of.
Controlling, complaining.
Controlling, I agree.
They are in the role of
Thinking you're right. That's ego.
their role is different. So they are
criticizing them.
So they are not detached.
Criticizing them.
Yeah, controlling is true. People try to feel superior than you.
Yes, superior than you. Then it's conflicts.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So acting superior, always having the attitude that I'm right, to try to control others, to constantly be complaining, to criticizing others.
Negative attitude.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Okay, a negative
Not confident.
So maybe whatever the person says, they're always wrong. And then I missed the last one. What was that?
I said confidence.
What do you mean?
That they lack confidence in their
Low
behaviors.
self-esteem. Is that what you
Low
mean?
self-esteem.
Low self-esteem.
Lack of confidence, maybe. Lack of confidence.
And lack of confidence.
Yeah, it can be.
These are the things that can sometimes create that. So they feel unworthy. So what causes that lack of confidence or that feeling of being unworthy?
Authoritative.
Okay.
Nagging. In the chat, create opportunities.
Inferiority complex.
Yes, yes. That's what leads to a lot of things, the inferiority complex.
The low self-esteem leads to all of these things.
Yep, yep.
And then they're controlling of someone else, critical of someone else.
Yeah,
Maybe when you pair that person to somebody else, if only you were more like so-and-so, or why are you so much like that person?
Okay, beautiful. So comparing is a really big no-no when you say, oh, if you were only more like your sister or your brother or your mother or your...
Or the converse of saying you're just like your father, and it's very negative because, you know, when you compare it to somebody that is you consider negative.
Yes, absolutely. To compare with somebody and say, you know, you're as bad as so-and-so.
Right, right.
Okay, beautiful.
One opportunist.
I didn't hear that.
Opportunist.
Lack of opportunity.
No, taking advantage, basically.
Opportunist.
Taking advantage.
Well, that really is like being self-centered because you think everything is for your benefit.
Okay. Okay, so taking advantage of others, not giving them maybe the respect that's due, but taking advantage of them. Okay.
They control because they feel like they are more older and more knowledgeable.
Okay, so I'm better than you, ego.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, good.
Also giving names to means different time, like you are dumb, you are this, you are that.
Okay, so criticizing, name calling.
Right, right.
Labeling, right?
Labeling, right.
Okay, so labeling in a negative way.
Nicknames.
Pre-notions.
They're beautiful.
Sometimes they have pre-notions about you and then they presume.
Okay. So negative nicknames that people don't like.
And the pre-notions, they have some certain kind of thing in your mind from any reason or in the past experience or something, that they have this preset notions. So no matter how the other person is trying to do, but because they have perceived it before.
Expectation.
Okay. So some people have never gotten over something that happened in a relationship maybe 20 years ago, and they're still blaming you for it and seeing you.
Or presume it that, okay,
Yeah.
he or she is going to do this.
So that's prejudices.
Prejudice.
Prejudice is very, very harmful.
Not being judgmental.
Judgmental.
Okay, wonderful.
That's what I said, judgmental.
I'm thinking, I'm going to add one thing, okay?
Bringing up past mistakes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Always bringing up mistakes. Bringing up the past mistakes.
Okay, and then the person that started to speak just before that.
Always, sometimes you have opinion negative, so you will always add negative, never think positive about the person.
Putting somebody down.
Okay, so bringing up past mistakes, name calling, putting someone down.
Blaming them for something.
Wonderful. Blaming is a big one. So blaming others. Okay, beautiful. You guys really, you've got this down. You know, it's interesting because we all know what hurts. Okay, we all know what hurts. And one of them I'd like to add to this, that I think, is may I have your permission to add gossip?
Sure, definitely.
Okay, so if somebody gossips about you, how do you feel?
Down.
Okay, so someone gossips about you, you might feel hurt, you might feel down, you might get sad, yeah. You might feel shamed and be angry, yeah. So if someone calls you a name, you might feel
emotionally disturbed.
Well, you might feel hurt, yeah, hurt. You might feel low. I would rather, you could be a little emotional. I'd rather not say emotionally disturbed because that's also a category. But yes, certainly people get very emotional when those things happen. Okay, so now, do you know anyone who always stays above this line? And would you like everyone in your life to stay above this line so they were always here? Would you like that?
Can I ask you a question before we move on?
Sure.
So you said dharana model. So what is dharana means here? Is it mental concentration or what it means here?
Okay. I'm, you know, in living values, I just say it's behavior. Okay. So I should have, let me look at that slide and see what it says. Okay, it says dharna, not dharma. So
No, I said dharana, but I said in my Indian sense, like dharana we say.
yeah.
So, dharana.
So, in Raj Yoga, dharana is the thinking. The dharana is the behavior. So the dharana, like if the behavior of the child is happy and giving and loving, then in Raj Yoga speak, we might want to say, that child is so loving. That child is so caring. That child is so sweet. So whatever is the dharana is the putting into the behavior what's inside. So in a real way. So you can just say behavior or you can say dharana. Like if you were to say about a person in Raj Yoga, her dharna is very good, that would mean that that person is always above the line, that that person is loving, that that person living is listening to you, that person sees your beautiful qualities, that person encourages you, that person enjoys you and can laugh with you and be with you. So that's dharna.
Thank you.
Sure. So dharna is very important. You know, in Raj Yoga, first you have the knowledge and then you have yoga. You know, the bringing in of that love and that peace. And then the third step is to have the dharna, to inculcate that peace and that love, because you're having more spiritual power into your life, into your relationships, so that they become healthy and happy.
So what is the fourth step? Is there any more steps, right?
Well, that would be the steps for that. In Raj Yoga, you know, there's actually 4 subjects. So it's the knowledge, it's the yoga, it's the dharna, and then you would be ready to serve. For example, if you were a person that believed in sending out peace to the world, or, you know, then if you have those first 3 things, then you're ready, definitely, to send that peace to the world. Okay, I didn't get as far as I thought I would be, but you guys have been great participants. Vinubin, do you want me to take a couple of questions before I do in with a commentary? I know you've been collecting questions.
You can ask. You can take up questions. I'm sure all these souls are quite eager to get your questions answered if they have any.
Okay, well, I'd like to ask them then what you'd like. Like, for example, next time, I was thinking of sharing with you how to give appreciation and how to keep your words genuine and giving and encouraging, and how we can make our relationships even better through words, not overdoing it, but through positivity. Would you be interested in hearing about that?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. And then somebody a few of you actually talked about listening and understanding, and showing people that you're accepting. And I know probably a lot of you sometimes think that you might be accepting and you might be appreciating and other people can't see it. And so we might want to discuss about how to listen so that people can know that you're really doing it. Would that be an appropriate topic?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. And Vinu, I saw a question came in and I can't read and talk.
There is a sister, Rebecca. Do you want to unmute and ask?
Hi there. The question that you had asked before about, do you know people above the line? And something struck me, which is, I thought of a friend of mine, and I feel she does have all those qualities of above the line. But what I know of her, she's experienced from others the below the line things. So she is such a kind and loving person, but she has had people not listen to her, be judgmental, not respect her. And she still tries to be kind of like the best person, but there's that hurt. And so I feel like there's a dichotomy, and I feel I have some of that myself, that you want to be that good person, but from past traumas or things that have happened to you in relationships with other people, that you kind of live with the hurt while you're still trying to be good. I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I think it's something that probably all, you know, many of us on this call have experienced. I know that when I came into Raj Yoga, part of it was I had been in a relationship, and I was a bit demanding. And I said to myself, I said, Diane, if you're going to be demanding of others, you need to be able to do what you're asking them to do. So you need to learn to take in more peace and more love so you can live up to your own expectations and be who you want to be. And so I think it's admirable for, and probably most of the people on this call are that way, and that you want to be a good person. You know, you want to be loving, you want to be kind, but there are people that hurt in the world, and that's really true. But sometimes I was very naughty when I worked as a school psychologist, and I would get these little bullies. You know, these kids that would just fight, and they would just be so, you know, they'd be constantly in fights. And so they would come in and see me. I'd be asked to do counseling with them, and I'd establish rapport and I'd get to know them. But then after a couple of sessions, 2 or 3, I would say to them, do you know that I know a secret about what happens about fighting? And they'd say, you do? I said, yes. I said, the secret is, and I'd take a pen and or a crayon, and I'd mark on a piece of paper, because they might be 10, you know, or they might be 8, but 10, 11. And so I'd draw a line. I'd say, you know, when you fight, the fighting's going to follow you. And when you're kind and loving, that's going to follow you. People would be kind and caring and nice. I said, but most people aren't one or the other all the time. So some people, they sometimes fight a little bit and then they're nice, and then they fight a little bit, or they're argumentative and then they're nice. And I draw this mostly wavy, but a few X line. And then I make the same line behind it, but the X's were in different places. And then I said, but what's happening with you is that you're fighting most of the time and you only do a little bit of this, and then you're like this. And I said, so what you're getting is you're getting all this back. I said, but when you stop doing the X's and you only do this, the X's will stop following you. And you know, they always understood it and they always got it. And I'd say to them, do you want me to help you figure out what to do when when you're being like this and someone gives you an X? And they'd say, yes, what do I do? So I teach them how to be assertive but benevolent, so they could get out of a difficult situation without fighting. And you know, within 2 sessions, these main fighters in a school would completely stop. So it was finding another thing to do. So your friend and all of us that really try to stay above the line and we're loving, and people occasionally hurt, what you know is that eventually that will run out and that you will only be followed by this. And I can really say it's true in my life. The more we create this, the more we create this love and harmony, the more it follows. And one of the things I love, whether it's the Raj Yogi family, the BK family, or whether it's the Living Values education family around the world, we're all creating these circles of caring and peace and love and compassion. And it's beautiful.
Thank really you so much, Diane. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
There was a lot of, some in the chat box, they were requesting certain topics. Just quickly, I just wanted to show what are the topics. So these are the topics that we'll be discussing in April. So the questions that you asked about, how to have a relationship where there's no hidden agenda, I think definitely all these topics or your questions will be answered in one of these classes, because I think it's very common questions, and definitely it will be embedded in these classes. So this we're gonna have Sister Diane with us for this entire month, and she'll be sharing with us in all these different topics. So stay tuned. Don't miss the classes.
But I would like to hear their questions. So if you can send those to me, or we have time for one more if you want to do one more question.
Actually, it was not a question. They were requesting. They said, can we also talk about communicating or relationship with no hidden agenda? And then that's another one, talk about conflict in relationships. So I think these definitely will be shared in those classes.
Okay, great.
In upcoming classes.
Okay, lovely. No problem.
So, and if you have any other questions, you can either send me an email or you can call the center and you can let me know. It's good if you have these questions and let me know in advance so that we can gauge the time. We can gauge the time on how much we can share, and we can make sure that everyone's questions are answered.
I would like to just add one more thing. There is a researcher, and he had done some work on marriages. And he could observe a couple for a short amount of time and predict if they were going to get a divorce or not. And one of the things he came up with after observing hundreds and hundreds of couples is that there had to be at least 5 positives to every negative. Now, I would like to suggest that there should be a lot more positives than 5 to 1 negative, that negatives should scarcely exist. And I would like, because they're just not necessary. I remember I had a friend, and this friend was a Raj Yogi. And this friend would like to play the I'm right game. I'm right, you're wrong, or you're right, I'm wrong, or, and, I just don't like to play the game because I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's beneficial. So not only do I think we can have almost completely positive communication, but I think that we can get rid of some of the game playing that happens in relationships by saying something, and I'll tell you what I said to him. And I think that one of the things that is really important is to understand the emotional dynamics. So when people are tempted to get into anger, that they don't have to. They can actually go much more deeply into the real emotions behind the anger. And when you can communicate from that place, then the problems can be resolved rather than growing. But this one friend that he used to try to say, I'm right, you're wrong, or you're right, I'm wrong, or whatever. And I just would say to him, I don't play the I'm right game. I'm right, you're right game, or I don't play the, maybe he blamed, I can't really remember it. Maybe it was blaming. And that's what it was, blaming. He blamed, well, And I just say, I don't play the blame game. And I only had to say it like 3 times. I don't play the blame game. And that's all I said. And he stopped. So it's fascinating how if you're paying attention, you can stay above the circle. So what I'd like you to do during the week until next Tuesday is I'd like you to observe, just a little bit observe your relationships and just see how much there's positive. And if there is negative, just observe it and then watch what you do and see what happens. Just observe and make sure that but you're at least 10 to 1. Okay, shall we end with a few minutes?
Can we see that? Can we see your chart so we can take a photograph?
Certainly you can.
Is there a phone number I can talk to Diane personally?
I'd rather you wait till the end of the course. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Right now, I'm sorry to say this, but I have a list that's very, very long. Okay. You know what? I'm so sorry. I'm trying to find my chart and I can't find it. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay, that's the chart. Is that the one you wanted to see?
I don't know. It's not opened yet, so I can't tell.
Oh, okay.
Sister Diane, you may send it to me and I'll send it to everybody.
Yeah, actually, we can do that. It will come in the email.
Yeah.
Mr. Diane,
As-
you can send me.
No, I was not referring to this. I was referring to the one you have drawn and all the points you took on this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That one.
Or Jayashri Ben can send us.
You know what I will be happy to do for the gentleman that asked.
Yeah. The lower part I got, but others may want to get. I wanted the upper part, the positives.
You're part of my group, right?
What I will do is I will take a picture of it and I'll send it to you. How about that?
Yeah, great. Great.
Okay, I'll take a picture of it and the other one that I took before, and I'll send them both.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
No, but
Can you send it to
Diane?
everybody, please?
Yeah, can you send Jayashri Ben and she can send us?
It will come in the email. If all of you are receiving our emails, means that you are definitely in the group, and you will be receiving the link. Basically, after I've uploaded in the YouTube, you will receive the link, and also the pictures that Sister Diane mentioned about this chart and the other chart and of the slides. So all of this will be included in the email.
Diane, I have one request, that this behavioral model that you talked about,
Yes.
is there any supporting things that we can read and understand it a little bit more?
Absolutely. I just finished a book called Living Values Education Training Guide. And then I also have a book called Nurturing with Love and Wisdom, Disciplining with Peace and Respect. A mindful guide to parenting. But if you just look my name up on Amazon, you'll find both of those books. But be sure you get the recent ones. The training guide was just published in December, but it completely goes into this. And the beauty of this model is that you can use it to analyze, to help see what's happening with a person or with a family or in a classroom or in a business. And, you know, it's beautiful to look at a business or an institution or a family and say, okay, what do we value? You remember that ethos. What do we want to have? You know, if we do these things, then we can create that. And then you look at each one of the negatives. And when I'm working with an organization, then I'll have them identify exactly the very specific negatives within the organization or within a family. And then they take each negative, and then we figure out together how to eliminate it and what positive thing to do instead. It's so powerful. A very simple example is children are hungry at school. For elementary school children, 90% of problems are caused because kids are hungry. And so it's, you know, if you can eliminate that. So there's certain kinds of things that can be eliminated. You know, if a husband or a wife says one thing when they're angry that triggers their spouse and it just sets them off for days, then a conversation and really looking at that. or whether it's two sisters in a BK center, to look at what's happening and say, okay, this is happening. You know, we love each other. This is something we'd like to get rid of. What can we do instead? What kinds of positive things can we do? What do we need to do to heal this? So there's just so many beautiful things we can do. And it's so lovely to be surrounded by caring, beautiful relationships. It makes all the difference in life.
It does. What you are saying makes perfect sense. But sometimes you deal with people that you are not dealing on a day-to-day basis, like you are hiring a contractor or you are working with somebody, and that communication, sometimes there is a big gap in how you talk and what you say. And you know, but definitely I'm going to look into your training guide, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of positive, you know, points that we can adopt.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, it's been lovely to share with you all, and I'll take pictures of these and send them to Vinu, and I look forward to chatting with you all next week. Should we
Thank you so much.
Of meditation? My
Yes,
pleasure.
so what we will do is, Sister Diane, that we, you know, I'll put up the light, I'll share screen the light, and everybody, you can do a commentary, and then everyone can be absorbed in that experience, and then very silently, I usually end the session so they can bring back with them the experience, because when we come into sharing, then it dilutes the experience. So once the meditation is done, once you say Om Shanti, and then I would just silently end the session.
You think we can get the recording also in the email?
Thank you.
Yeah. So what I shared before, again, let me say it again. The recording will be uploaded in the YouTube channel, and in the email you will receive the link to the YouTube channel. Basically, the recording in the YouTube channel, you'll receive the link. Second, you'll receive the picture of the chart that Sister Diane wrote. And third, you'll also receive the picture of the slide that she shared. So you will receive all this in the email, provided that you are in the list. And if by chance, if you sort of got to know this class from a friend, you were not in the list, then I would really suggest that you can email me. So, you know, your names and your email can be included for further email correspondence. So
I can
here.
I are in the group,
Yes.
sister. Yeah.
So that is the, sorry, I think I accidentally put it in the private. So it is Los Angeles at us.brahmakumaris.org. Okay. Drop me an email. In case if you are not existing in the group yet, drop me an email. You will be added to the group. Okay, so now let's move into the meditation. I'm going to mute all of you. Thank you so much. So, Sister Diane, you
Thank
can.
you so much, Sister Diane.
So we are very lucky to have professional people every month. So thank you to Vinu Ben, Jayshree Ben, and Diane.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Now we can move into our meditation.
I let myself relax and I breathe deeply. I let the light of peace surround me. And I think of all of the things that are beautiful in me. All of the qualities that I have. that create beauty in me and beauty in relationships with others. Sometimes it takes strength to be peaceful. Sometimes it takes strength to be loving. I breathe in and I link with the highest one. And I let myself be surrounded by God's peace. And God's love. I soak in that light of peace. I soak in that light of love. And I imagine all the beautiful things that can happen when people stay above the light. Perhaps I can begin doing that with me. Letting myself be peaceful more often. Talking to myself gently. Being loving with myself. Being strong for myself. Taking in strength when I need to be strong for myself. I'm the one that has courage to be peaceful, to be loving, to be benevolent. I'm one that is creating more beauty in me and relationships in the world. Om Shanti.